having problems in middle school? Well, so was Nikki Maxwell in Dork Diaries by Rachel Renee Russell. This realistic fiction book is about a 14-year-old girl who is not happy when her father arranges a scholarship to a private middle school called Westchester Country Day. Nikki does not fit in with the designer-labeled students and spends most of her time writing in her diary her mom had gotten her instead of an iPhone. To make matters worse, Nikki has a locker right next to the school's most popular girl, Mackenzie Hollister. Mackenzie is a fashion-obsessed, shallow girl who has an addiction to lip gloss and claims that Nikki is a dork, plus goes out of her way to make Nikki's life miserable. For this book, I gave it 5 stars. I would recommend this book to anyone who is having problems in middle school and wants to find help.
Ah! Get away! Get away! Hey, are you looking for an adventure and suspense book? If you are, the book you're looking for is Frankenstein. The main character of this book is Victor Frankenstein. I guess you can say he's the hero of this book, and the villain of this book is the monster created by Victor. Now, let me guess. You're probably thinking, I thought Victor was the hero. Well, he didn't plan to create a monster. Here's what happened. When Victor was a young boy, he becomes interested in alchemy while on vacation and reads a lot about it. Victor heads to a university to study alchemy. He has 2 professors. One encourages him, and the other says it's nonsense. Months later, he gathers dead body parts and begins his creation. It worked. He created a human. Or was it? Victor becomes disgusted with himself and his work, so he runs away. Soon the monster realizes that everyone hates him. They even try to kill him. So the monster plans revenge. So for his revenge, he kills Victor. This book would probably be a science fiction book. I think the audience should read this book because it's full of action, suspense, and adventure. I rate this book a 5 stars for sure. Run!
Wimpy Kid is a funny, exciting, and need to know what's happening next book. All of these things that came out of the genius mind of the author, Jeff Kenny. Greg Heffley, a normal middle schooler, gets trapped in a snowstorm and vandalizes school property. He is in one big pickle. Can Greg overcome his name while still surviving a treacherous snowstorm 3 foot stacked up against his doorstep? Overall, Cabin Fever is a great book for all ages, and I highly recommend this book. I give it a whopping 5 stars.
Are you tired of boring books? I know how you feel. So read Ramona the Pest by Beverly Clear. It's a humorous and realistic fiction book. It's hilarious, but you will laugh out loud. Most of the book takes place in kindergarten classroom. Ramona Quimby is the main character. Other characters include Ramona's mother, father, and sister Beatrice, her classmates Susan, Davy, Howie, and her teacher Miss Biney. Ramona was so excited to start kindergarten. She's so excited, but sometimes she is a pest to others. She loves to pull her classmate Susie's hair because of her long curly hair and says boing every time she does it. Ramona has a crush on Davy, so she chases him to try to kiss him every day around the playground. She wraps a worm around her finger like a ring and decides to marry Henry Huggins. On Halloween, she dresses up like a witch and kisses Davy. Then she pulls Susie's hair again, and Miss Biney tells her to stay home until she stops pulling hair. Ramona stays out of school until she receives a letter from her teacher asking her to come back. The writer's style was easy to understand and very funny. You should read this book because it makes you laugh. I give this book 4 stars.
Wow, I just read this great book called Goosebumps, Monster Blood 2. It is realistic fiction and very adventurous. It is about an average, everyday boy named Evan Ross who can't stop thinking about Monster Blood. The story takes place at Evan's school. The main character is Evan. His best friend is Andy, short for Andrea. His arch enemy is Conan the Barbarian. He doesn't like him because he is a bully. His teacher is Mr. Murphy. He is mean and only cares about his boring hamster named Cuddles. The next day, Evan gets in trouble for talking about Monster Blood. So his punishment was to clean Cuddles' cage. He didn't want to, but he had no choice. He cleaned the cage and Cuddles escaped. The next day, Andy came and gave Evan Monster Blood, and he gave some to Cuddles, and he grew to the size of a dog. Then Andy ate some, and she grew and huge and put Cuddles into a closet. Then he vanished. This book is 5 stars, and you should read it for yourself. This book is very suspenseful, and you need to get it. So get it for $5 now. To order yours, call 1-800-NEMO.